Hello, my name is Patrick Brum. I'm the new author of a book called The Fool's Gambit, Trip Reports by Patrick Brum. This is a book about my life, half my life actually, up through my 30s. So it goes through from childhood and life at home up through my travels around half of the planet. Traveled to South America as an exchange student, and then later got to travel all across the U.S., hitchhiking and driving. This is the story of me ending up getting arrested. Not going to get into that. That's a spoiler. There's my cat. That's why I don't make my bed. If you wondered why it's a mess, that's why. Right there. That's it. Just make a mess of things. Here's a wall in my living room that I put some tape up and post-it notes. This is how I built the story. The top row is my chapter numbers. The second row is the main conversation line, where I'm in prison with a couple of buddies. Federal prison, in fact. The blue slips there are who's talking at the time. Next row down is my road trip stories. Most of them hitchhiking, half of them hitchhiking, half of them in a Toyota Corona. Here's my chapters. I go up to chapter 19. All the pink tags up there with the chapters, those are all trip reports. So if you're interested in trip reports, I've got a few. And then what else is in there? The fourth row down there, childhood stories. Just a little smattering at the beginning of the book. And the final row at the bottom of those pink slips are other books that I get into in my storyline. The storyline in the third line down and the storyline in the second line down. So it's stories being told within stories. Being told within a story, which is the top line where somebody's just interviewing me. And I only surface up to that level at the beginning and there at the end with the chapters 15, 17, and 19, where there's one in 12. But generally, this is a meta discussion that doesn't really happen too much, just at the very beginning and at the tail end. So here's my pitch. Let me get into this. Blending the restless spirit of Kerouac with the timeless quest of Siddhartha and the psychology of Joseph Campbell, this memoir traces one seeker's journey through highways, mountains, vision quests, and prison cells, capturing the wild edge of the psychedelic counterculture. A compendium of trip reports, it is a tale of impermanence, adventure, the search for meaning in unexpected places, and unlooked-for family along the way. Found along the way. Sorry, can't forget that word. So, a lot of this revolves around my hitchhiking trips. Family found along the way. I find that I bump into the same people that know the same people at very distant points across the U.S. It is very strange. Very cosmic. Here's my blurb. Where Jack Kerouac's On the Road gave voice to the restless beat generation, this coming-of-age memoir carries that spirit into the psychedelic counterculture of the late 20th century. From hitchhiking the highways of America to drug-fueled vision quests, from the South American Andes to a federal prison sentence, this is the chaotic true story of the life of a seeker who lived on the edge. Inspired by Hermann Hesse's Siddhartha, and Joseph Campbell's The Hero with 1,000 Faces. The author takes readers through a family life rocked by enmity to reckless freedom and the strange teachers at every turn. From Grateful Dead concerts to rainbow gatherings, it is a self-discovery process guided by life itself. Every mile on the road, and even time in a prison cell, offer lessons in survival, patience, impermanence, and transformation. A raw, unflinching chronicle of adventure, rebellion, the search for meaning, and the family found along the way. This is a tale where even illness, bad trips, and bureaucracy can turn into humor and wisdom worth carrying back. So there's my blurb. I first came across the book Siddhartha while I was traveling in South America as a foreign exchange student. I was in high school at the time. And it had a big impact on my life. Taught me all about watching the world go by. Taught me that sooner or later you can watch the entire world go by. And Hermann, or Joseph Campbell's The Hero's Journey, my whole trip just revolves around Campbell's idea of the hero's journey, with all kinds of stages in between, the call to adventure, meeting a certain reticence to answer that call, meeting mentors along the way that encourage you and prepare you for your adventure, going on the adventure, facing ordeals, having allies and enemies along the way that get you to where you are headed to. You may not even know where you're going to. Half the time I had no idea where I was going to. I would just get out on the highway. For half of my journey, I just had a sign that I stuck up that said west, and went wherever that took me. And there's a lot of stories in my book about where those adventures took me. Stories about where I ended up in a prison cell, doing federal time, 5 years federal, for sale of LSD, which I thought was some very good LSD. Everybody thought it was very good LSD. Couldn't imagine getting the time I did for the small amount that I actually had, considering. It just goes to show that the bureaucracy of the administration at the time that came up with this concept called mandatory minimum sentences just hadn't really thought things through all the way. What else can I say? Look for this cover on Amazon. It'll be there before too long. I'm still going through final draft. Still tweaking this image a little bit. Kind of half good at Photoshop. So I'm responsible for that image. It's borrowed from the Pamela A. tarot deck from 1909, the Rider-Waite 1909 deck, which I did my own modifications to. I hope you like it. The sky is yellow and the sun is blue. That's a call out for all my deadhead friends. So come look for my book, and I hope you like it. And in the meantime, thanks for stopping by and watching my video again. The first one really didn't have a lot of content to it. This one kind of explains the book some more. So, there you go. See you once again. Bye.